Are there lies out there about a keto and carnivore diet? Hi, I'm Dr. Eric Westman, and welcome to my channel where I review and debunk nutritional misinformation online. In this video, we're going to hear some lies and misinformation about the keto and carnivore diets. Yes, there are lots of lies or misinformation about it. And it's by Dr. Tony Hampton. Well, I know Dr. Hampton, and we serve on the same board of the Society of Metabolic Health Practitioners. So it'll be interesting to see what his thoughts are. Of course, stay to the end till you hear my final thoughts. Before we dive into today's video, I want to invite you to take keto nutritionist Amy Berger's free masterclass, The Secrets to Breaking Keto Fat Loss Stalls. If you're doing all the right things but stubborn weight still won't budge, then Amy's masterclass is for you. See the link in the description to sign up.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the Metabolic Health Docs YouTube channel. Today we're busting 10 of the biggest lies about the keto and carnivore diets that have kept people from giving these lifestyle changes a real shot. If you've ever been told things like eating fat makes you fat or keto will give you nutrient deficiencies, then stick around. I'm here to separate fact from fiction and break down the truth with science-backed facts and real-life examples. So let's get into it, guys.
So always consider the source. Dr. Hampton is a practicing physician, which of course in my mind brings the influencer up in credibility and knowledge base. He's board certified in family medicine and obesity medicine. I'm past president of the Obesity Medicine Association. And then he's board certified or got extra training in functional medicine as well. Now, I'm not part of the functional medicine world. I'd prefer to use food and not supplements to fix things if at all possible. But so I think by credibility of degrees and background and training, Dr. Hampton has the checks in the right boxes there.
Lie number one, all fat is bad for you. For decades, we've been told that fat, especially saturated fat, is the cause of heart disease. But the science tells a completely different story. Research, including studies published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, show no clear link between saturated fat and heart disease. In fact, fat is essential for hormone production, brain function, and even weight management. That's important for a weight management doc. Fat can keep you full, stabilize blood sugars, and help you burn more fat for energy. So instead of fearing fat, let's understand that not all fats are created equal. The best fats are from animals. Can you believe that? And the worst fats are those pesky trans fats.
Yeah, so if you've been watching my channel, you'll know that we don't fear eating fats that come in natural foods. Trans fats are the ones that were added to the processed foods, and everyone is against ultra-processed food now, although it's really sugar in ultra-processed food. If you don't address the sugar in there, I'm not sure how much health is going to be improved by just making it not ultra-processed, but with sugar. But so yeah, don't fear the fats. And this is a 180 from when we were raised. It goes against everything we were taught. I hear that all the time. Well, science moves forward, and we know now what we didn't know then, and that is eating saturated fat is fine.
Lie number two, you'll get nutrient deficiencies on keto or carnivores. In reality, animal-based foods are some of the most nutrient-dense options available. Red meat, for example, is rich in highly bioavailable B12, iron, zinc, and essential amino acids. A well-balanced keto or carnivore diet can meet, in many cases, exceed your nutrient needs, especially when compared to the typical high-carb diets. For instance, vitamin D, B12, and heme iron are commonly found in animal products, while these are often deficient in plant-only diets. And if we were to use spinach as an example, guys, you only absorb 2% of the iron in spinach, while with meat, it's in the 35 to 40% range for iron absorption. That's a huge difference. Lie number 3, you need carbs for energy. Now, while carbs are one source of energy, but they're not the only source of energy, guys. When you're keto adaptive, your body becomes efficient at using fat and ketones as its primary fuel source. Elite athletes and endurance runners have found they can perform exceptionally well on low-carb diets without carb loading. Studies on low-carb athletes show that after a period of adaptation, they can actually access their body fat stores more readily, which is a huge advantage for sustained energy.
Yeah, and so it's important to keep in mind that the low-carb science, or the keto science, nutritional ketosis, is what happens when you're on a keto diet or a carnivore diet. The level of ketosis may vary, but these are both under that same scientific umbrella, if you will.
Lie number 4, keto and carnivore diets are unsustainable. I should laugh at that too. While it's true that changing your diet requires an adjustment period, many people find these diets easier to stick with than they expected. Once cravings for sugar and carbs reduce, which happens after you're adjusted, you may find yourself less hungry and less dependent on frequent snacking. So many people, including myself, have found that steady energy and reduced cravings make these diets very sustainable in the long run.
Yeah, and the simplicity of it, even though it might seem, like very limiting, the simplicity of it is a bonus for some people. Not for everyone. It takes away the worry about what to eat, and you don't have to prepare food very much. I have many people who come to me saying, oh, I can't do that keto diet because you have to meal prep and you have to do all this. No, you don't. So it depends what version of a keto diet, or any diet for that matter. There are simple versions and there are more complicated versions.
Lie number 5, high-fat diets cause high cholesterol levels. A common concern about keto is that the high-fat content will skyrocket your total cholesterol and total LDL cholesterol. While it's true that some people see an increase in LDL cholesterol in keto, research shows that low-carb diets improve their HDL, which is a good cholesterol, and lower their triglycerides, which are the fats. In fact, many doctors are beginning to shift their focus to total cholesterol and total LDL cholesterol markers, such as markers of inflammation, HDL, triglyceride to HDL ratio, LDL particle sizes, and apolipoprotein beta-A ratio. These are all more accurate indicators of heart disease. So the idea that all high-fat diets are harmful to your heart is definitely outdated. Lie number 6, keto leads to kidney damage. Now, here's the reality, guys. Unless you have pre-existing kidney disease, there's no evidence to suggest that keto or carnivore harms kidney function. For people with diabetes or insulin resistance, low-carb diets can actually protect kidney health by helping to stabilize blood sugars, lower insulin levels, which is critical for kidney health. And when you are working with a metabolically trained doctor like myself, you can actually continue your keto diet because they will know what to monitor and adjust accordingly.
Yeah, I like the language outdated, he says, that the idea that you're going to have a high cholesterol from a high fat diet is outdated. The idea that a high protein diet will cause kidney disease is outdated. I like that. Most of this has been, like predetermined 50 years ago that this would happen, and that's when other technology has advanced way beyond that. So has the understanding about the human body and what people can eat and not eat, even though it might go against everything you've been taught.
Lie number 7, carnivore is bad for your gut health. Many people, like myself, with IBS or other digestive issues actually find relief on carnivore, especially when it comes to bloating, gas, and inflammation. Now, while fiber can be beneficial for some, it can also irritate the gut lining in others, especially those with sensitive digestive systems. Research into gut microbiome health is evolving, and it's becoming clear that some people's guts can adapt well to animal-based diets without fiber. The takeaway here is that gut health isn't one size fits all. Some find their best digestive health by going carnivore. In fact, that's the reason why the metabolic health diet became a carnivore because I feel my best on this diet.
Yeah, so it is amazing to me that, in fact, there was a lot of funding going around, maybe there still is, looking at the microbiome in the medical world to try to find maybe if we can just change the microbiome, we can fix obesity. Well, we've already figured out how one version of diet can fix obesity, and that's cutting the carbs. So I have no concern about the gut microbiome and don't think that there's going to be some magical cure just focusing on the microbiome unless you can get the carbs out without being digested. And that's usually not a good thing. Carbs, when they hit the colon, usually create gas and bloating, and most people don't like that. So, the microbiome is just a processing of the food that you eat, and it changes based on what you eat. And sure, there might be some fine-tuning of a diet program, but I don't think we're going to find the answer in the microbiome. It's in the food.
Lie number 8, all protein will turn to sugar. Yes, we've all heard this one, the concern that eating protein on keto or carnivore would turn that protein into sugar through a process called gluconeogenesis. That's been repeated over and over again, but here's the thing, guys. While gluconeogenesis does occur, it's a demand-driven process, not supply-driven. This means your body only creates glucose from protein when it's needed, not simply because you ate protein. In fact, adequate protein intake is essential for muscle maintenance, hormone production, and overall health. So don't worry. Moderate protein won't knock you out of ketosis or spike your blood sugar in a significant way. And never forget that low-carb diets are moderate protein diets, not high-protein diets.
Yeah, and if you're not in the keto-verse, which is the portion of the internet that is following keto diets, that echo chamber, for a while there was concern that eating too much protein would knock you out of ketosis. And while in some people, if you're in the gym trying to optimize function there, in the clinical realm, in the clinical setting, like Dr. Hampton and my settings, we don't worry about that protein turning into sugar and having gluconeogenesis ruin things. It really is automatic without that kind of worry.
Lie number 9, keto causes ketoacidosis. Shockingly, guys, many clinicians and doctors are worried about this one, so let's clarify. Nutritional ketosis is achieved through a low-carb diet. It's not the same as diabetic ketoacidosis, which occurs mainly in people with uncontrolled diabetes. Nutritional ketosis keeps ketone levels in a safe range, whereas ketoacidosis involves dangerously high ketone levels and elevated blood sugar, and it's life-threatening, guys. Nutritional ketosis, on the other hand, is a natural and safe metabolic state. In fact, I've been a low-carb doctor for over 11 years, and I've never seen anyone going into ketoacidosis from nutritional ketosis except for one exception. You have any idea what that exception is? Well, it's only when patients are taking medications like Jardiance, which can cause something called euglycemic diabetic ketoacidosis, and this can occur when anyone taking a drug in the category of SGLT2 inhibitors are doing keto. Thankfully, the guidelines for therapeutic carb restriction on Low Carb USA's website will give doctors feedback on how to manage that. It's important to know that they advise avoiding these medicines if you're on a keto diet.
I have the same experience as Dr. Hampton here. I never saw ketoacidosis on keto diets by themselves until these new medications came out. The SGLT2 inhibitors, they are ones that let the kidney leak or force the kidney to leak glucose. And not only do they have a ketoacidosis side effect, which can be life-threatening, they also can cause infection in the urine and the bladder and the kidneys, and that can be life-threatening as well. Of course, all of this is listed at the bottom in fine print and in very quickly said language on every ad about these drugs. And one of my patients came in once all upset because she said there shouldn't be jingles about drugs, to advertise these things. So be careful about these SGLT2 inhibitors. For heart failure, they're being used quite a bit. But it's now the story is unfolding that it looks like the medicines work because they cause ketosis. And so ketones are being studied for heart failure now, and it's not occurred to the cardiologists yet, but it'll occur eventually, that you can get ketosis just by changing the food. So you don't have to add in ketones. We call them exogenous ketones. You can get nutritional ketosis by doing a low-carb diet. But this is a public service announcement here that if you're going to be starting a keto diet and you're on one of these SGLT2 inhibitors, look at the name of them. In my world, I stop those medicines with monitoring. So you want to talk to your doctor or follow with a doctor who has used this medicine and keto diets together, so you can be followed safely and come off those medicines safely when you don't need them anymore.
Lie number 10, you'll feel deprived on keto or carnivore. My last time to laugh, right? I would love for you guys to comment on this one, because in the low-carb community, we have found that many people find that once they're keto adaptive, they actually are more satisfied and experience fewer cravings. Animal foods are simply nutrient-dense and filling and will keep you from being hungry, and those urges to snacking go away. On top of that, stabilizing your blood sugar and leading to more energy and better mood. So it makes it much easier if you're in a good mood to stick to a diet, right? So guys, here you have it. 10 lies I hope that we were able to bust about the keto and carnivore diet. I hope this video helped clear up some of the confusion surrounding these dietary patterns and gave you a little bit more confidence to explore what works best for you.
So I would give this very high marks. Of course, it's the same information that I generally give on my YouTube channel. And I know Dr. Tony Hampton has the training that he understands the nuance and the change that happens when you don't eat carbohydrates. And so I think this is an excellent video. We need more influencers like Dr. Hampton, who are physicians and non-physicians and pharmacists and people who understand medicine, to give more solid information about diet. And I know it seems weird, but diet and nutrition is the key. I practice the best internal medicine of my life by changing the food, not using medications. And that's not going to compute to most of you physicians out there. I know that. It didn't for me 25 years ago either, but thanks, Dr. Hampton, for another great video and supporting nutritional change as one of the keys to great health. If you like, please like, subscribe, ring the notification bell, and look for videos every 2 times a week now. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell, and check out adaptyourlifeacademy.com.